Greetings from Shook Mobile Technology, San Antonio, Texas. We want to explain the operation of the Decon trailer. It's 24-foot long, all aluminum structure. It's got 4 ramp doors like the one you see here that's extended. They pass all the way through the trailer with 3 compartments inside. One for undress, the center for decontamination, and the far for redress and then exit. Let me show you how difficult it is to open one of these doors. Of course, before you do that, the trailer arrives, you level it. Jack, let's show them these leveling points. There's a stabilizer crank down right here. We provide a tool and you just crank it down from the rear and the front. So there's 4 points to crank down, and you can observe the levelers to make sure that the trailer is nicely leveled before you start using it. And you need to do that. So the doors are down. You see that we provided roll-up ramps. So this is to allow things to be wheeled up and down and people to walk up and down without tripping. Likewise, we did the same at the top of the ramp to cover that hinge point. So it's a nice, smooth roll. Jack, if you'd follow me, we're going to show them how to open one of these doors. Simple camlock type bars. Push them back out of the way to avoid pinching. And then it's pretty easy. It comes down, as you see, one-handed. There's spring tension that kind of holds it up there. So it comes down easy enough. One person, one small person should do that. And then you fall down that hinge. All right, so the trailer's leveled, the 4 bay doors are open. Then we can go inside to set it up. What you're supposed to do on a daily basis is check the generator, oil, and coolant levels. That's in this bay. This is a 5.5 kilowatt LP or propane fired generator. It's mounted here. It breathes in air through the door, combusts, and sends everything out the bottom with combustion exhaust out the back. This is a hook to hold it open. Shore powers. This is main shore power. It's a 30 amp service. We've given you the mating shore power cable and mating connector. Just attach whatever end you want for your own shore power cable at the shore side. 30 amp receptacle, triple locks in place. This is for 15 or 20 amp inlet service. It's either or. This one will run everything, the water heater, everything. This one will run lighting, it'll run the DC charger, small loads, but not the water heater. So it gives you the option for a simple little extension cord to power up the trailer, or full power, or the generator. And this is a convenience outlet. That's outlet power for you to plug in things here on the outside of the trailer. All right, we're going to wander inside. I'm in the trailer. I'm going to go ahead and open the other side door just to give us some through ventilation. First thing to do in here is to get power going. So we're going to do that by looking at the service panel. That's the AC panel up here. And this is the DC panel here. So everything's quiet and dark. We've selected generator power. That's that 15 amp source. That's the 30 amp source, or that's power off. So we're going to do generator power. So there it is. We're going to reach down and hold, push and hold on the generator button, and it'll be priming and running. We're going to reach up and confirm the power. So we're roughly 115, 120 volts right here. That's good. We're going to open up the AC. We're going to turn on the AC main. Now all of these are the loads. As you can see them, they're labeled water heater, battery charger, inlet, interior outlets, exterior outlets, front sump pump, rear sump pump, and a couple of spares. So the ACs are all on and active except for the spares. The DC, we need to bring on the DC main. And you see interior lights came on with us. And we can monitor DC voltage over here at nominally 14 volts. So things are on now. This is the sump pump control relays. We're not going to be shooting water right now, so I'll leave it off. But when you're using this thing, that's on. That's the interior bay lights in the rear, the interior bay lights in the front. This room's lights that I'm in, mechanical room vent. Jack, could you look up here at the ceiling for me? So I've turned power on to this thing. We want to crank it open like that to let the air go out, and then you select whatever speed you want to pull the air and humidity out of this room. We recommend turning this on. We more than recommend it. It needs to be on if you're going to operate the room heaters with these two doors into this room closed. We believe, we're advised that the operators will be, I'm sorry, let me show this thing. Sorry. We're advised that the operators will leave the exit side door into this bay open, and if that's the case, you don't need this ceiling fan running unless you want it. The reason for this is air return. This is the room heater. As you see, the hot air comes up and out of that bay, goes to the rear bay, and goes up to the front bay. So that's the hot air being delivered to the bays for comfort. But the return air that comes back into this fan comes through this louver right here. And if the doors are all closed, there's no air to get in here. So either the ceiling fan runs with the vent open, or one of the doors is open. That'll take care of that here. Anyway, this is the heater control. This is where you turn on that room heater, right down here. There is no cool function on this, but off, heat, or fan only. It's in the off mode as we dispatch, and then thermostat. So that's that room heater. Furnace fan, I'm leaving it off. I don't want the heater. It's plenty warm here in South Texas. These are the fans for the front and rear bays. It's the same fan as we looked at here. There's 3 fans on this vehicle. Exterior curb lights, curbside, street side, and rear, and then a spare breaker. So that's the DC. All right, so we've got the AC power up and running, and everything is working good there. Just so you know, that's a battery. That's a glass mat AGM battery inside of this compartment. It shouldn't need service. It's not doesn't need water servicing, but it's what starts that generator. It's what keeps all these LED lights operating until the generator fires up or short power control. So there's a battery right in there. All right, so let's look back at the mechanicals. This is a 199,000 BTU water heater. It's continuous, so as long as cold water is coming into it, hot water is coming out. It's easy to operate. You turn it on with a simple punch of that button. You can set temp up or down. We're going to leave it on 104. That's comfortable temperature for output, but you can change it if you need. My recommendation is to set this as low as you can tolerate it, so that we don't waste propane energy heating water that's diluted with cold. So as you see, we've got cold water coming into this heater. We normally leave the shutoff valves in the on position here. This is water into the heater. This is a service point or a drain point. We leave that valve closed too. So in comes cold water, heats, comes back out through this back line here. And again, we leave this valve on unless you need it shut off for some reason. Same for drain here. This is an overpressure, over-temp relief valve that's required by code. We've wrapped all of the hot lines in insulation just to keep you from inadvertently touching and burning. But that's why that's there. So down comes the hot water. It comes through underneath here and up to a mixing valve. So we'll show you this in the wash bay, but this is a Shook exclusive. we are giving you water temp selection in the wash bay, so you can dial just like your shower at home, warmer, colder, or off. The important thing to know with a mixing valve in 2013's code is it must have water pressure on both sides of it in order for it to function. If you don't apply, for example, hot water pressure to it at all, if you should reach over here and shut that off, it won't operate. It won't let water through. It has to, by code, see water pressure on both sides of the mixing valve. All right, so here comes cold water, here comes hot water. It gets mixed to the temperature you want. It comes out, it goes through the wall to the rinse. That way it's going through the wall to rinse. This way it's going through an injector assembly that's adjustable, micro-adjustable, and it then goes into the bay for wash. This is a little siphon tube. You're familiar with those. The tank here, we understand you normally put Dawn dishwashing detergent in here, but we weren't sure, so we didn't fill it. But just put Dawn or whatever you use in here to the level you need, and it'll automatically siphon through this circuit when you're running water. Sump pump, let's open the front one, Jack, because it's easier to get to. We were advised that it's better to leave this quick removable so that you can get in there quickly. This is the business end. Jack, come in closer if you can, please. This is the float level switch that knows when that sump well is full of water to the point that the sump pump needs to turn on. When the sump pump turns on, its output is discharged through this green line and out and under the trailer, and I'll show you the rear connects here in a minute. But this, you see the level switches into this box. It's controlling power to this sump pump. What we're doing is after the float switch here says the water level is low enough, we go ahead and run it for a few seconds longer to really thoroughly empty that bay down there. Now, should this sump pump fail, which is pretty unlikely, you can go to your neighborhood Lowe's or Home Depot or any of those type of stores and get one, and it replaces just that easy. Just I lifted it out and the float thought it was needed to run. So it's now running. You can hear it. It's trying to empty that water. So this is the float switch, and the sump pump. It's easy to change. It just plugs in here. Piece of cake if you should ever need one. All right. So let's head outside, Jack, and we'll look at some other things. On the end of the wall here, maybe you can take a picture as we walk by. It's another convenience outlet, just so you can run your laptops or computers or whatever you want to do from that point. All right. First aid kit, fire extinguisher. We'll head out on your side. Just as a convenience to you, we've given you an entry step. On both sides, it's simply mechanical pull-out. Just put it in and pull it out manually, like that. Grab handle, nice stainless steel, so it's easier for you to get in and out of the trailer. This is the propane bay. Obviously, you shouldn't be smoking or doing things that will spark. There's two of them. There's four tanks. These doors will latch open. You can see this is to keep this door from interfering with this door. So that's why the latches are there. But here's the propane system. These two tanks run the generator and that room heater, the furnace. When the tank that's in use runs empty or very low, that valve on the wall will automatically switch to this tank. There's the valve on the wall. And it will indicate to you, it'll turn red right there to indicate to you that it switched. And that's the regulator. It's all set. It's going to give you 11 inches of water column going out the gas lines. So this side is for the generator in the furnace. This side works exactly the same way, but it is dedicated to the water heater because it is such a high propane consumer. Again, set your temperature on the water heater as low as you can comfortably use to preserve this. No sense heating water and then mixing it down cold if you don't need to. High ply tires, 80 psi cold inflation. Take a peek in this back page. Shook is including this, it's over 23 feet long roller system. So when it's unhooked, it'll roll to the ends of the ramp on both sides. And you've got height adjustable legs. So by turning these knobs, you can adjust the height in all of these leg positions. So you can have the patient come in level. No uphills, no downhills, nice and flat. We also have provided with this one an in stopper. You'll see how it engages when you get this. But the patient that's running along here doesn't get pushed off the end accidentally. It'll bump against this at a worst case. So, it's extra wide. It's 23 some odd feet long. When you use this, you will need to dry it very, very thoroughly and perhaps shoot everything down with a coating of WD-40 or equivalent, a light machine oil to keep it from rusting. It's not stainless steel, that would have been way too heavy. But it ought to last well as long as you dry it. We provided tie-down hooks in the wall for your use. We provided hooks on the wall for you to hang your distribution bags for the aprons and the clean kits and the things you use to service your patients. Now this side, this is the business side. Now we presume, but it's up to you, your patients would enter on that side of the vehicle. They'd pull the heavy 18-ounce curtains closed. They snap on both sides. They disrobe, put their stuff in the bag, put it on this hook, pass through to the wash bay. And here, Jack, if you come in closer for me, I want to be sure that the customer sees how to operate this thing. Remember the mixing valve, it is off. It's off down here. So it's not going to flow any water to anything. So you're going to come up, it's cold, it's getting warmer, it's a nice mid-temperature, now it's getting hot, it's all hot. So that's how this thing works. Just like your shower at home. So when it's on, I'm just going to say mid-temp, doesn't matter. Your patient or you will take the soap sprayer. You know what to do with this. Spray them and scrub them. To use it, you've got to turn it on. So the mixing valve is on, the selector is on. The selector only turns on if you want the water to come out the overhead. So if you don't want water out of the overhead shower here, leave this off. And then this is active. Same over here on the rinse side. This or this drives the rinse to this top. So that's how that works. All right, I'm going to return this to the off. That's the service in. I'm sure you're very familiar with that, more than me. And then they pass through and redress over here. We put hooks on the wall at a suggestion of CST Austin. Thank them very much. Their thinking is that you will hang a long bag on this wall with many compartments in it, to which your patients will pull out and put on their aprons. And then exit. Jack, let's head around to the rear of the trailer and we'll show them how the water system would be connected. You all decide what order you want to do this in. Electricity, propane, water, whatever it is that you need. Just take, your procedures will dictate, but I'll show you where the stuff is. Here in the rear of the trailer, this is how it'll arrive. Nicely dressed out. Open this up, latch it. This outlet here, come on in tight, Jack. This is a standard garden hose inlet right here. So you tighten this up, or loosen this, sorry. pull that out, put your garden hose right on there. I'm going to put it back. And then open the valve, and water would go into the system through a garden hose. If you don't have a garden hose, if you don't have a garden hose available, then you've got an opportunity over here for a 2-inch fire hose adapter. And again, a valve. So you're going to choose, is the water coming in through a garden hose or through a 2-inch fire hose? Choose whichever source and open its valve. All right. If you choose the fire inlet hose, then it's on a regulator, dropping the pressure down to about 50 or 60 psi. It's preset. You shouldn't have to adjust this. So in comes the water. We've given you a courtesy convenience water outlet right here. It's just turning the corner. It's fresh water coming in and coming right back out again, so you can hook an auxiliary hose and clean off things or whatever you need to do with fresh water, just as a courtesy. And then more importantly, this is your drain. This is when those sump pumps run, all of that water, that wastewater will come out of this port right here and go to your bladders. So we've also provided a 500-gallon bladder. We've provided, I think it's a 20-foot long hose that will connect here and to the bladder. And you would put that out behind the trailer, we believe. And that's, I think that pretty well wraps it up. There's one of those lights I spoke about that we have for sun lighting. So if there's any questions or issues or need, please call Shook Mobile Technology. We're available 24/7 for our service hubs. Our number in San Antonio, 210-651-5700. My name is Ron Lawrence, Head of Sales. We sure appreciate the opportunity to build this decon trailer for you.